It is that you both voted against the same kind of transparency law for you guys. Help me understand this. I know you say, well, we sent it back to committee, but I just see that as a procedural death sentence. So I start with you, Mr. Walkinshaw. How are you for the Epstein file release, but you don't want that kind of transparency if it can hurt you guys?
In this video, Chris Cuomo drops the hammer on a Republican congressman and exposes the blatant hypocrisy of politicians demanding the release of the Epstein files while fighting to hide their own sexual harassment settlements. If you want to see exactly what elite entitlement looks like when it gets backed into a corner, show your support by hitting like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, let's watch this together, and then I'll give my 2 cents at the end.
Think quickly, fellas. You both voted to release the Epstein files, okay? I totally get it. I'm a little interested in what you guys are going to do about the fact that this government, more than at any other time in my lifetime, has told you guys, we don't care about your law. We're going to violate it. What are you going to do about it? So we'll see what you do there. But what I don't get is that you both voted against the same kind of transparency law for you guys. Help me understand this. I know you say, well, we sent it back to committee, but I just see that as a procedural death sentence. So I start with you, Mr. Walkinshaw. How are you for the Epstein file release, but you don't want that kind of transparency if it can hurt you guys?
Well, the good news, Chris, is I do want that kind of transparency. I serve on the Oversight Committee, and shortly after that vote on the floor, we had a separate vote to subpoena all of the awards and settlements related to sexual harassment for members of Congress in history. And I voted for that, and it passed in a bipartisan way. So that information will be coming out thanks to the Oversight Committee subpoena.
Okay, I get it. But that's not exactly the same thing that we're doing in Epstein, right? They're not just situations, Doc, where they settled. It's who knew, what did people say? And if you want to say it was never corroborated, fine, but you can't hold it back from us on that basis. And then these are people that have high public prominence, not as high as members of Congress, and we want to see it. You're now sending a different message about yourselves, Doc. I heard from you, Walkinshaw. Let me hear from Doc, and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead.
First of all, I think these people have much higher
Walkinshaw
prominence.
needs your help on this one.
I think they have much higher prominence than we do in Congress, quite frankly. You got celebrities, you got ex-presidents, you got some of the most prestigious people in society. We're the small fish, really, in this Epstein. Most politicians didn't get involved in this unless you were at the highest levels.
No, I'm not talking about Epstein. I'm talking about this bill. I'm talking about this bill that would put the same focus on you cats, and that you don't like. Make it make sense.
Yeah. So when I first started running for Congress, I remember people accusing me of all kinds of crazy things. I mean, insane things. You've been accused of things, right? That you probably would dispute were not true. The question is, do you have a right to any sort of privacy when you're accused of something that's false? Do you let an investigation go on without the public getting involved? Do you want to bias juries? Do you want to have people do things politically? We're coming after it constantly. I don't know of any politician, at least any male politician, who hasn't been accused of something. Now, I'm sure there are people out there like that, but I don't know of any of it. When the first time I got accused, I took it so hard. I literally got palpitations. And I went to the governor. I said,
but then you should have voted against the Epstein law. Then you should have voted against the Epstein law because you're going to do that to a whole bunch of people now. What's the difference?
And actually, that was one of the debates that we had: is does it run its due course? But the Epstein files, and quite frankly, this is the nice thing about going through committee and having it actually vetted by lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm a Marine. But lawyers thinking about what your constitutionality is, thinking about protecting witnesses as well as people who are accused against. There is a due process of our law. And I think we have to be very careful how we approach this so that people aren't maligned without some sort of due process.
Congressman Walkinshaw, I'll give you the last word on this. I'm still not sold. It feels hypocritical to me. It feels like the rule for thee, but not for me.
Yeah. I've been very involved in the Epstein file issue on the Oversight Committee. And one of the things we've been careful to do is be guided by the survivors and talking to them every step of the way. And we didn't start pushing to release the files until the survivors asked us to, and we're comfortable with it, because a lot of survivors have concerns, unfortunately now validated, that their information could be revealed in those files being released. So I think with respect to this issue, of members of Congress and allegations and awards and settlements related to sexual harassment, we need to sit down and talk to the survivors, those who have been victimized in those instances, and talk through how they want that information released and made public. And I think the subpoena that the Oversight Committee passed that I voted for, so that all of those awards and settlements will be released, is a first step. And if survivors ask us to, we can push to release additional information after that.
Get ready to release it. Representative Walkinshaw, thank you very much. Representative McCormack, I appreciate you both coming here and making the case, and I look forward to seeing you both again. Thank you, gentlemen.
Did you catch that? The moment these politicians are asked why they voted to hide congressional sexual harassment settlements from the public, the excuses start flying from both sides of the aisle. The Republican immediately plays the victim card, calling himself a small fish and complaining that false accusations give him palpitations. Meanwhile, the Democrat tries to hide behind the procedural shield of protecting survivors. But Chris Cuomo wasn't about to let either of them squirm out of it, dropping the ultimate truth bomb. It is completely hypocritical, and it is a rule for thee, but not for me. That is the operating philosophy of the political elite. They are perfectly happy to champion transparency and due process when it scores them political points on the Epstein files, but the absolute second the magnifying glass turns toward their own taxpayer-funded offices, suddenly privacy is paramount. If you're going to write the laws, you need to be subject to them. You cannot use taxpayer dollars to settle misconduct claims in the dark while simultaneously grandstanding about transparency for everyone else. So, what do you think? Did Chris Cuomo go too easy on them, or was this the perfect takedown of congressional hypocrisy? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for more and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.